The northern part of our electric system has an aquifer under the surface, and there's a lot of water available to the people in Mason County and the other Tazewell and other parts of our system. We were able to get an electric rate for them so that they could irrigate their land and make money on land that was practically worthless. A man told me once, he said, before we got electricity for irrigation, he said, people didn't want this land in Mason County. It's just sandburrs. But it made it all very valuable because it means a lot of times the difference between a crop and no crop. Mason County that's a story that can be told all over. These farmers became, well, I don't want to say they're wealthy, but they have done well, and but that's all because of the electric system providing a rate that they could use to make a profit on that property. But it worked out, and they did well, and the co-op did well because of it.
I became involved in irrigation in 1964 when I put in my first well. Well, the irrigation systems in the Mason and Tazewell County was quite a boost to the electric cooperatives, and the fact that they had so many kilowatt hours used, and they grew quite rapidly. As soon as irrigation began to come on there, they found that the type of sand we had, plus the water that we had, plus adequate fertilizer, made the best productivity, the best crops of all kinds.
Before I went to work in 1965, I suppose, probably was the first irrigation that went electrically. And when I was hired, Mr. Root said, we want you to fill the valleys, which at that time occurred in the summer. You had a heavier winter load, and in the summertime was low. So then he came in and said, stop that, we can't do that, you've created a mountain. But we did encourage a lot of use of electricity for irrigation. But at that time, we believed that there was a savings, there was a more efficiency that the farmer received, there was less pollution into the air, and we really felt that we were doing a service to the community and to the farmer, because there was no doubt the increase in yields of their grain. It was going from probably 50, 60 bushels an acre to 200 bushel, which was astronomical and unheard of at that time. Vegetable crops in Mason County has been a great financial asset to the farming community. I think that made so much difference to so many people.
Imperial Valley of the Midwest is what they refer to this area. There's a lot of specialty crops grown here. You know, there's the typical corn and soybeans. There's seed production for corn, seed production for soybeans. Then there's also sweet corn. There's popcorn. There's several different varieties of soybeans, green beans, there's the June peas, there's horseradish, there's pumpkins. There's a couple different kinds of pumpkins, the big orange Halloween pumpkin, and there's a yellow or whiter, I should say, pale colored pumpkins that Libby's and Del Monte's grow. I've heard we're the largest pumpkin producing area in the United States. There's some barleys. The potatoes are a big deal. The potatoes are grown for potato chips, but certainly popcorn is probably my favorite to watch and to grow.
In our service area, there's 3 main irrigation vendors, and each vendor has their own software associated, which is AgSense, FieldNet, or RainCloud. And our irrigators have the option today to enroll with one of those vendors and communicate to their irrigation system, whether it be cellular or satellite. And what they're able to do is they're able to connect that to their phone, their iPad, or their computer in their house They're able to start the system, stop the system, schedule when the system starts and stops, put down a certain amount of water at a certain time, able to grab all their historical records of how much they pumped for the season and when. And Menard Electric is currently looking at this option for our irrigators going forward as possibly a method of load control.